Alright, let's put some cheap food on. So, ranger rotations. Let's see. Crate runes. Here we go. Skill delay, skill delay, skill delay. Alright. So, not the best, but let's add the numbers. That is the counter range rotation. I do get skill delays right now for while recording, sadly enough, but let's add the numbers. 703 plus 28909. Alright, divided by 5, about 29.2k damage. That's realistic, ish if you're full ascended. 29.8 is what I was able to hit earlier without delays or whatnot. So damage is still pretty good. Okay. Rotations are, I'm gonna go over them real quick. So, if you don't have any, any lag or skill delays, etc., or nothing going on, and you have kind of the same stats. We run crate runes in the guild, Wolf Guild. You're free to use nightmares if you want. Okay, just do take note that you will have to be popping food for those nightmares to be pushing out that damage. You can use a cheaper food, but again, might be a little loss in DPS. Bleeding. Then 2 trappers, and then Geomancy and Malice. Geomancy and Malice for every weapon switch. Okay. So with that aside, we're doing shortbow and axe torch. So what you generally want to do is you want to do at least 3, um, 2 out of 3 traps, and then a pet F2, followed by poison volley and crippling shot. And if you're not fast enough, I would just suggest sharpening stone, flame trap, entangle, pet F2, and then poison volley, crippling shot, switch weapons. Okay, it's very important that you do the weapon switch. Now let's go over short rotations or axe first. So after your initial spike with the pet F2 and the traps, okay, and the short bow 2 and 4, okay, you switch to axe and torch. Now the rotation here is really simple. Basics is spam all traps on cooldown. Okay, spam all traps on cooldown. Right? But weapon skills take priority. So let's say your split blade is up, ready to use, and you have a flame trap or a entangle. Split blade needs to be the first one popped. Okay, has to be the first one popped. The reason being is that the weapon skills have a certain rotation, and if you're slow or you skip one, then that screws up your whole rotation until you switch weapons and then reset that particular rotation. So every time you switch weapons, it resets your weapon rotation. So go to short bow, you have a fresh short bow rotation ready to go. So is axe. But the traps, again, are spammed off cooldown. So when do we use them? Well, we would use the traps when all the weapon skills are on cooldowns. Okay? As in, you just use a bonfire. It's got that little thing. Alright, so it says, use a bonfire. It's on cooldown right here. Right? It's on cooldown phase. That's when you would be using the traps. Okay? But again, try to get these off cooldown as soon as possible. Now, the axe torch rotation goes like this. When you switch from short bow to axe torch, you want to initially start with a bonfire. Okay, always bonfire on the quick draw. Okay, we have the quick draw traded right here. After that, you go into torch 4, which is throw torch. Okay, so quick draw, bonfire, throw torch. Then from that, you move over to split blade. Okay, and then winter's bite. Now, this particular rotation makes it so that you get 2 throw torches, 3 split blades, and 2 winter's bites before you switch to the short bow. Now, you're going to have a time where your weapon swap is ready, okay? But before that, you want to use split blade and throw torch before switching to the short bow. Okay, it's going to be like 2 seconds done, but these things are still be on cooldown, and then boom, that's when you use it. You do not switch without getting the 3rd split blade or the 2nd throw torch, because you're going to lose damage at that point, okay? So always get your 3rd split blade and 2nd throw torch out. Then for short bow rotations, you always start with poison volley on switch. Okay, get that poison out, right? The sooner the better, because you have quick draw. So the short bow rotation I'm going to cover is 3 poison volleys and 2 crippling shots. Okay, 3 poison volleys and 2 crippling shots before you go back to axe torch. Now, how to do that? So from axe torch, you're in combat, you switch. You get quick draw. Immediately spam poison volley. After that, crippling shot. Okay, while spamming again traps off cooldowns as soon as these skills are cooled down. Now, after your first poison volley and crippling shot, this is going to recharge extremely quickly. You get about 2 seconds until you can use it again, 2 or 3. Okay, either or somewhere along that line, because it's quick draw. Now you get your 2nd poison volley out. After that, you're auto-attacking, spamming traps off cooldown in pet F2. Okay, don't forget your pet F2. Now, again, it's going to be same as axe torch. You're going to get your weapon switch should be up before you get the 3rd one. Make sure you get the poison volley and crippling shot before you switch to axe torch. The 3rd one. So 3rd poison volley, 2nd crippling shot. Just like the axe torch. Your 3rd split blade, your 2nd throw torch. Okay, exactly same ones. Let me demonstrate this. So let's say we did our starting spike and we're on combat now, right? Okay, we do, we did a poison volley and then crippling shot. We went to axe torch, then we do bonfire, throw torch, split blade, and then winter's bite. As you can see, these are gonna be ready to go. So you do split blade again, bonfire, right? Then you do winter's bite, and after that, split blade, throw torch, then switch weapons. Then you go poison volley, crippling shot. Okay, you're auto attacking this point, poison volley again. Okay. Then you're spamming all these skills in cooldown, but remember, poison volley, crippling shot before switching, then bonfire, throw torch, split blade, winter's bite again, and you repeat the rotation over and over. So split blade, bonfire. Okay, your split blade has to go before that bonfire. Split blade again, throw torch, switch to short bow. Okay, I'm gonna do it a little faster. Okay, on this next rotation. So here we go. So 2, 4, switch, right? As you can see, boom, done. So this is gonna recharge. Alright, split blade always first, then bonfire. Okay, get that 2nd winter's bite out, then 3rd split blade, bonfire, switching. Okay, and just maintain the rotation over and over and over. Really easy and simple. Okay, poison volley, boom. And the same rotation, 5, 2, 4 on the axe torch. Okay, and again, weapon's going to be cooled off, but you want to use that throw torch and split blade before you switch. Okay, and voila. That is the super simple, easy Condi Ranger rotation and Quickness and Alacrity. Notice the exact same one. Alright, 2, 4, bonfire, boom. And just maintain it. So again, split blade, bonfire, get ready for that wind's bite. Boom. You can see exact same rotation. Right, poison volley, crippling shot, get the third poison volley out. Okay, it's about to come up. So third poison volley, crippling shot, switch weapons. Alright, bonfire, throw torch, split blade, winner's bite. Okay, then split blade again, bonfire. Okay, boom. And that's basically your Condi Ranger rotation for this. Okay, and you just spam your pet F2 whenever possible. Now you can switch weapons prematurely as long as the animation is casted. For example, I've thrown Winter's Bite, it's up in the air. I can switch animations at that point. Like that, boom. I threw a torch 4, but I switch immediately upon throwing it, upon the activation of the animation. So the damage is going to increase and increase and increase until it reaches a stable around 24k-ish. Okay, or almost 24k. Now there were creating nightmares. Again, that's not including the traps. So my damage earlier, okay, this is with this cheap food, so super veggie pizzas and tuning icicles. I was hitting around mid 29s, okay, low 29,000. I've hit 29.8 thousand damage earlier just with these cheap foods. And if you scroll up, let's scroll up a little bit. This is the damage with the more expensive food, the toxic focusing and the rare veggie pizzas. You're hitting 30,000 plus sustained with the exact same rotation. Okay. And that's it. So let's go over the starting spike. So we call it a spike for a reason. You want a bunch of skills to land around the same time. Okay. In order for this to happen, you have to time it and you have to spam it really fast. So your pet F2 has a little bit of play into this. So what I usually do is there's different ones. You can do Sharpening Stone, Flame Trap, and Tangle. Then just skip Viper's Nest all in together and Poison Volley and Crippling Shot. So all 5 of those skills, including your F2. So 5 skills hit around the same time. Or you can do always Sharpening Stone, Flame Trap, Viper's Nest, and Tangle. Okay, at that point you do Poison Volley and Crippling Shot, or just skip the Crippling Shot and go into the rotation. So I'm going to demonstrate the Sharpening, Flame Trap, and Tangle, Viper's Nest, Poison, and Crippling right now with pet F2. Now generally you want to do the F2 around the same time your character finishes casting Flame Trap. Okay, or you start the Flame Trap. Okay, because all these skills are going to hit basically at the same time. So here we go. And then you switch, and then you do your thing. Okay, so all the skills landed within about a second of each other-ish. That's what you generally want. Okay. Now, you want to do at least Flame Trap and Entangle right after each other. Okay, right after each other. Reason being is that they're the heaviest hitting skills that you've got for the most part. Trap-wise, okay, trap-wise. And after that, you want to do follow it up with a Poison Volley and Crippling Shot. Viper's Nest is decent damage. Okay, you can skip Crippling Shot in general if you want to put a Viper's Nest in there. Crippling Shot is about 900 to 1,000 bleeding ticks. Viper's Nest is around 2,000, 3,000 DPS. So take the lesser of the two evils, get it out of your rotation if you want to kind of switch your starting spike. Let's go with Sharpening, Flame Trap, Viper, and Tangle, and then the triple stuff. So here we go. And then boom, switch. So as you can see from the get-go, we're at 30 bleeding, all that stuff, etc. We're hitting 10,000 plus DPS from the first second of all that stuff going on. Okay. Do you notice that these traps here, they do take a little bit to activate. Now, Entangle is it generally, boom, jumps up in the air, hits physical damage, bam. But the other traps, Viper's Nest and Flame Trap, take about half a second to activate. Okay, half a second, a little bit less, a little bit more, etc. So you generally, starting spike-wise, if you're fast, I would suggest doing Sharpening, Flame, Viper, and Tangle, then going into your short bow stuff. But make sure you put Running Pounce. I would suggest put it around the same time as you put Viper. So Sharpening, Flame Trap, Viper, Running Pounce, and Tangle. So I'm going to demonstrate that here. Boom. And then that is your start spike. You can see we're already up. Same thing, hitting around 12k-ish damage. Poison ticks are pretty good, 4,000 damage, but they will drop significantly. Okay, so you know, tie that damage up, spike it up, and you're good to go. Let's demonstrate the rotation I just did on this golem until, you know, we'll do a starting initial damage. Okay, you generally want to put 28k, 29k plus, 30k if you're in full ascended plus infused, nightmare and all that, but generally 28k plus is a good damage start. So sharpening, flame trap, all that stuff. Okay, F2 while with the vipers, and then go to rotation. So here we go. So this is gonna be a realistic rotation. I'm not having delays right now, as I noticed. So should be able to push out a decent rotation for you guys here that are watching this. And stop. So our starting spike was 28.7. That's pretty good. Okay, if you are running the crate and all that stuff too. Okay, you can still hit 29,000 as at 20.7 here earlier, etc. But high 28s, pretty good start, especially on cheap food and crate. After that, it's just gonna keep going up, just like these numbers here. All right, 28, 29 secondary, and then it's gonna be around mid 2900s, all right, or high 2900s. Okay, depending on your rotation and how fast you can push things out. And also, it's a little bit of RNG. So you have fields, fire field, poison field, fire field, and all that stuff. And you also have projectile finishers. Okay. So your damage will be a little bit of RNG, but again, you can mitigate that by doing proper rotations. I think we have been testing a bunch of starting spikes and all that, and we think we've come to this consensus in the guild that the Sharpening Stones, Flame Trap, Viper's Nest, and then Entangle is probably the best starting one, okay, for really, really high damage. Again, it depends on the timing and whatnot, but boom. Now, if you do not have Quickness from the get-go, I suggest going another route. I would suggest going Sharpening, Flame Trap, Entangle, then using Shortbow skills, skipping Viper's Nest, alright, until you get to Axe Torch. So after, basically, the skills that take precedence are Bonfire, Throw Torch, and Split Blade. You can use Viper's Nest slightly before a Winter's Spite, but they have to be chained. As in, Viper's Nest immediately Winter's Spite. Okay, because you want that second Winter's Spite out in your rotation. Okay. And that's about it. Winter's Spite is the only weapon skill that can go after a trap, but it needs to be chained. So let's say you do trap and immediately Winter's Spite afterwards. Boom, done. Okay. Immediately afterwards. You put a trap down, Winter's Spite. Okay. Trap down, Winter's Spite. But you can see here, the first two traps, they were canceled with Winter's Spite, so you want to be kind of attentive to that. So yes, you can risk it. Okay, it requires superb timing to put a trap and then Winter's Spite immediately. But again, canceling it is not really worth canceling a trap. So it's the only skill out of your whole arsenal here that you can trap then winners or trap then skill for a weapon. But I would suggest having everything off cooldown, then putting traps on, so that these are all on cooldown. You can put traps safely. Boom, it's gonna cast it. Other than that, that is the Condi Ranger rotation video for the guild. Again, better gear equals better damage. You can push 31k plus with better gear and whatnot, etc. And the faster you do it, the better. Also, again, don't forget the RNG. Your damage might scale up and down, but again, the minimal thresholds that we set in the guild are incorporated into that RNG aspect of, hey, if this guy doesn't hit all his projectile finishers, this might be his damage. Or maybe half projectiles and all that stuff. So, enjoy the vid. Have a good one.